Picture this: October 23rd, 2077. Alarm sirens wail, people panic. The world as we know it ends. Imagine our world, not too dissimilar from the one we live in today, but with a few critical differences. The global landscape is dominated by the resource wars, an immense struggle for the last remaining natural resources. The world's superpowers are locked in an increasingly desperate battle for survival, their citizens living in fear of what tomorrow might bring. In the United States, a corporation named Vault-Tec takes advantage of this fear and begins a grand project. They propose the construction of underground shelters known as vaults. These vaults, they claim, will protect their inhabitants from the impending nuclear apocalypse, offering a glimmer of hope in an increasingly bleak world. But the public is unaware of the ulterior motives behind this project. Vault-Tec isn't just creating a safe haven, they're designing a social experiment on an unprecedented scale. Each vault is unique, with its own set of rules and conditions, carefully crafted to observe how humans react when pushed to their limits. Meanwhile, the tensions between the superpowers reach a boiling point. Diplomatic solutions are discarded, and on that fateful day in October, the unimaginable becomes reality. The sky lights up with the blinding glare of 1,000 suns. The sirens wail, the ground shakes, and in a matter of moments, the world plunges into darkness. The Great War, as it's later known, lasts a mere 2 hours, but its effects are catastrophic and eternal. The nuclear fallout that follows is just as devastating as the bombs themselves. Radiation sweeps across the globe, wiping out most forms of life. Cities crumble, forests burn, and the earth itself seems to recoil in pain. The world as we know it ends. In a flash of blinding light, cities and lives are reduced to ashes. But our story doesn't end here, it's just the beginning. As nuclear winter descends, humanity retreats. Not to caves, but to the man-made caverns known as vaults. These vaults, designed by the corporation Vault-Tec, were more than just fallout shelters. They were elaborate bunkers, housing thousands of people, designed to sustain life for centuries if needed. Yet not all was as it seemed. Vault-Tec, under the guise of protecting humanity, conducted a myriad of experiments on their unsuspecting occupants. From the genetic meddling in Vault 75 to the social experiment of Vault 111, where residents were cryogenically frozen, each vault had its own unique and often sinister purpose. Life inside these vaults was a stark contrast to the desolate world outside. They were self-sufficient, with their own sources of food, water, and power. Yet, they were also isolated, cut off from the rest of the world, and governed by an overseer appointed by Vault-Tec. As time passed, survivors began to emerge from the vaults, venturing out into the harsh, irradiated wasteland. These brave individuals, known as vault dwellers, came face to face with a world vastly different from the one they had left behind. In the wake of the nuclear fallout, new factions began to form. Among them were the Brotherhood of Steel, a militaristic order dedicated to preserving technology and knowledge, and the Enclave, the remnants of the pre-war government and military who saw themselves as the rightful rulers of the Wasteland. These factions, each with their own ideologies and agendas, clashed in an ongoing struggle for dominance. Yet despite the hardships and conflicts, humanity persevered, adapting to their new world. In these vaults, untouched by nuclear fire, new societies began to form, laying the foundation of what was to come. The vaults served as the cradle of a new era, a testament to humanity's resilience in the face of annihilation. They were the starting point of a journey that would reshape the world, a journey filled with hope, despair, and survival. For in the aftermath of the apocalypse, life, as they say, found a way. Emerging from the vaults, survivors faced a new world, a wasteland. But life, as it has a habit of doing, found a way. In the wake of nuclear devastation, the world above was unrecognizable. The lush green landscapes had turned to desolate deserts. Rivers ran toxic. The sky, once a brilliant blue, now hung heavy with an ominous hue. Yet amidst this bleak and barren terrain, life began to stir. Creatures, once familiar, had morphed and mutated, adapting to their irradiated surroundings. The humble radroach, a cockroach transformed into a formidable foe. Deathclaws, towering reptilian beasts with razor-sharp claws, prowled the wastes. Bloatflies, mole rats, and more, each more grotesque and dangerous than the last. This was survival of the fittest, nature's cruelest test. But it wasn't just the creatures that had changed. Humanity too had been altered. Some bore the physical scars of radiation, their bodies twisted and deformed. Others, their minds warped, driven to madness. Yet in this brutal world, the human spirit remained unbroken. Tiny pockets of civilization began to form. Settlements sprouted up, fragile oases amidst the desolation, each one a testament to human resilience. These were places where survivors could rest, trade, and perhaps find some semblance of safety. But safety was an illusion. Power struggles ensued as groups vied for control of these havens. Raiders, slavers, and factions, each with their own agendas, turned these settlements into battlegrounds. Yet, even in the face of such adversity, mankind proved itself to be resourceful. They scavenged, they built, they fought, and they survived. Each day was a struggle, each night a victory. In the harshest of conditions, they adapted, they evolved, they endured. Against all odds, humanity had found a way to carve out an existence in the harsh wasteland. Their world had changed, but so had they. In their hearts, they held on to hope, the very thing that had kept them going. The will to survive, to endure, to rebuild, was stronger than any force of nature. In the face of adversity, humanity held on, carving out existence in the harsh wasteland. From the ashes of the old world, new factions rise, hope and despair locked in a perpetual dance. Our tale continues in the tumultuous landscape of the post-apocalyptic world, where the vestiges of the old world strive to shape a new future. Different factions emerge, each carrying the torch of hope and the burden of despair. Their identities are forged in the crucible of conflict, and their stories are etched in the annals of the Fallout universe. Among them, the Brotherhood of Steel stands tall, a beacon of hope for some, and a symbol of oppression for others. Tech-savvy and heavily armed, they are the knights in shining power armor, preserving the old world technology and knowledge. They see themselves as the guardians of humanity, but their strict adherence to their code often places them at odds with others. Then there's the Enclave, remnants of the pre-war government and military. They believe in the purity of human DNA, uncorrupted by radiation or mutation. Their vision of the future is a return to the old world order, a vision they pursue with chilling determination. Caesar's Legion, a society built on the principles of ancient Rome, brings a different kind of despair. They are slavers and warriors, their society built on the backs of the enslaved. Their brutality is a stark reminder of the darkness that humanity can descend into. The New California Republic, on the other hand, sparks hope with their democratic values and their attempts to restore law and order. Yet their expansionist policies often lead to conflict, and their bureaucracy can be as crippling as any enemy. These factions, along with countless others, intertwine in the major events that shape the Fallout universe. From the water purification conflict to the Battle of Hoover Dam, their struggles for power, survival, and their vision of the future echo throughout the wasteland. Each faction fights for their vision of the future, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. In the world of Fallout, the future remains uncertain, filled with promise and peril. As we gaze into the radioactive horizon, the possibilities for the future of this universe are as vast as the sprawling wastelands themselves. The endings of the games have given us a tantalizing taste of what might be in store. From the rise of new factions, the establishment of settlements, to the emergence of unforeseen threats, the Fallout universe is teeming with potential narratives waiting to be explored. Every choice made, every path taken, shapes the landscape of this unforgiving world, making the future all the more intriguing. Imagine the rise of a faction born from the ashes of the old world, a group determined to bring back the lost glory of a time before the nuclear holocaust. Or consider the emergence of a settlement, a beacon of hope amidst the desolation, built on the principles of democracy and equality, offering a glimmer of civilization in a world gone mad. Yet, the future also holds threats we can scarcely fathom. New, more terrifying creatures, mutations of the nuclear fallout, may lurk in the shadows. The struggle for resources could lead to devastating wars, rival factions clashing in a desperate bid for survival. But let's not forget, the Fallout universe is not all about despair and destruction. It's also about resilience and the indomitable human spirit. It's about communities banding together, about unlikely heroes rising from the ashes, about the enduring hope that one day, the world might regain some semblance of normalcy. In this post-apocalyptic world, one thing remains certain: the will to survive, to fight, to rebuild. This is the world of Fallout, a world that, despite its grim exterior, showcases the best and worst of humanity. A world that, no matter how bleak the outlook, reminds us of our capacity for hope, resilience, and the sheer determination to keep going. This is the future of Fallout, and it's a future that, like the games themselves, is ours to shape.
From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.